Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be shedding light on the benefits appertaining to entering into hyperfocus. So, why is it deemed to be beneficent to enter into hyperfocus? Without further ado, without further delay, allow me to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now. When you're able to enter into hyperfocus, it is conducive to allowing you to maximize your productivity. You want to be able to work as efficiently as viably possible. You want to be able to efficaciously complete tasks in an expeditious manner. You do not want to further prolong the process any longer than deemed necessary. When you enter into hyperfocus, you're less apt, you're less poised, you're less primed to make oversights. Furthermore, when you enter into hyperfocus, you're able to decelerate the rate at which you deplete mental bandwidth. Unbeknownst to most people, it is exhausting. It is mentally debilitating to incessantly, ceaselessly, unremittingly, continuously pivot from task to task to task to task to task. It's just much easier to hone in on completing a single task before you subsequently move on to working towards completing the next task. We all have pending tasks that need to be completed, and it's just more efficient and it's less draining and time consuming if you just hone in on completing one challenging task at a time. You can give it your undivided attention. Do not give in to being distracted by distractions. Do not indulge in frivolities nor antics. Maintain deep concentration. Maintain your focus. Hone in on completing the task at hand. So, what are some of the perquisites appertaining to entering into hyperfocus? Well, it's conducive to allowing you to become hyperproductive if you so choose to. If you could seamlessly enter into hyperfocus on a whim, abruptly, if you so choose to do so, it can allow you to become hyperproductive. When you become hyperproductive, you're more apt to reach your overarching goals and reach your higher aspirations. When you become hyperproductive, you're more apt to actualize your latent potential. When you become hyperproductive, you're more apt to manifest the quintessential version of yourself into reality. And it's possible to become hyperproductive if you're able to enter into hyperfocus on a whim, at your own discretion, if you so choose to do so. You always want to be able to thrust your life into a forward movement trajectory. You never want to regress. You never want to stagnate. You never want to be obstructed, nor encumbered, nor impeded, nor stifled, nor stymied. And when you encounter challenges, roadblocks, obstacles that need to be overcome, it's going to be much easier to surmount challenges in your life if you're able to enter into hyperfocus and hone in on overcoming those challenges rather than deferring to do so for a prolonged period of time. Surmounting challenges typically requires our undivided attention. It often requires us to enter into hyperfocus to be able to optimize our chances to surmount challenges that we encounter. You do not need to enter into hyperfocus to complete trivial, venial, paltry, nonsensical tasks. We only have a finite amount of mental bandwidth each and every day, and we want to be able to prudently, surely, judiciously, strategically, wisely leverage it and not needlessly, nor gormlessly, nor imprudently squander it. So, do not render yourself poised to become fatigued, lethargic, debilitated, frazzled, vitiated. You do not need to go all in if you're completing a trivial, paltry, venial task that is of negligible importance. Reserve your mental bandwidth for something that matters, which is the completion of pivotal tasks. So, when you're able to enter into hyperfocus, it's going to allow you to become hyperproductive. And when you're hyperproductive, you're not only more apt to manifest a prosperous, abundant, auspicious, and blissful future for yourself in your reality, due to being able to more easily thrust your life into a forward-moving trajectory, but it also allows you to be able to live a more accomplished, fulfilling, meaningful, worthwhile, meritorious, laudable, interesting, eventful, and inspirational life. You want to be exemplary to others. You do not want to live a life that is fraught with qualms, nor misgivings, nor regrets. You want to live your life to its utmost fullest, and not shirk on doing so. Do not desist, nor refrain, nor abstain from doing so. You do not want to live a banal, dull, monotonous, repetitious, uninteresting, uninspiring, uneventful life. Be a pioneer of your own destiny. Be a forward-thinking maverick. Be an entrepreneur. Be a creative. Be an innovator. Be an inventor. It's much easier to live a meaningful and fulfilling and highly accomplished life if you're able to seamlessly enter into hyperfocus and become hyperproductive as a result of being able to enter into hyperfocus. Whoever can concentrate on completing challenging tasks for a prolonged period of time has a higher probability of being successful than people who are incapable of doing so. So, it is beneficent when you can seamlessly enter into hyperfocus, especially if you want to attain exponential personal growth. If you can enter into hyperfocus when you're attempting to expand your repertoire, amplify your knowledge base, and increase your core competencies, is going to be more conducive to allowing you to learn more. You want information to be retentive. You can instantiate instances of the information being applied in the bowels of your mind to solidify it in your mind and upload it into your neurons. If you utilize the information, if it has a pragmatic application, and if you frequently apply it, it's going to become more retentive. However, if you do not utilize it, if it is not practical, if it lacks any real-world utility, it's going to elude you. So just be wary of that and understand how learning works. But if you can avail yourself of being able to enter into hyperfocus, it can redound to your advantage profusely, especially if it culminates in you becoming hyperproductive. You want to be able to work diligently, and when you can enter into hyperfocus, you can work more efficiently, more productively, more diligently, and more sedulously. When you can enter into hyperfocus, you're less apt to make oversights. When you can enter into hyperfocus, you're able to complete challenging tasks in a more expeditious manner. And when you can enter into hyperfocus, you're less prone to being easily distracted by distractions. When you pivot from task to task to task to task to task and get nothing accomplished, it is a needless pursuit, and you wind up profusely draining your mental bandwidth. You do not want to render yourself poised for failure. You want to be able to create the conditions that are conducive to allowing you to have the highest probability to attain unprecedented success. And if you want to be able to attain unprecedented success in the pending future, then capitalize on entering into hyperfocus so that you become hyper-productive and be able to efficaciously complete challenging tasks in a more expeditious manner than you otherwise would be able to do so if you forgone entering into hyperfocus when attempting to complete challenging tasks. So I hope that you deem this video to be insightful, enthralling, engrossing, riveting, captivating, mesmerizing, and of course informative. Have a blissful day. Goodbye.